Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video, and this is another ranking video. This actually probably might be one of my last ranking videos, at least in the near future, that I'm going to be doing. And this one is on Arrow. I'm going to be ranking every season of Arrow from worst to best. There's 8 seasons. Of course, season 8 is a shortened season, but it's still a season, so it still counts, and you can easily still rank it as well. So we're going to be going from worst to best. As per usual, these are my opinions, so don't get too angry if you don't agree with them. Though Arrow, I think, is a more easy one to be fairly even on. I don't know if anyone's like drastically different where they play certain seasons. I think everyone's, roughly on board. It's not as bad as with The Flash where, certain people have their worst season could be someone else's top 3 season or whatever it might be. So Arrow is a bit more, I think I want to say less controversial, less risky. I'm not putting my head on the line or my neck on the line. So I think it's a bit of an easier one. So yeah, let's get into it. 8 seasons. Let's not waste any more time. But of course, throughout the video, let me know in the comment section down below your rankings. You can rank all 8 seasons from worst to best, or maybe give me your top 3 and your bottom 1, which one you like the least. Maybe give me some reasons as to why you've ranked them in certain spots from 8 to 1. I don't know. It's up to you. And of course, you're going to enjoy the video, want to show your support and everything like that. Drop a like on the video. It takes 2, maybe 3 seconds, depending on how what platform you're on. I think I can speak English, but let's get into it. So at number 8, last spot, it's season 1. Of course not. It's season 4. I mean, this is obvious. Come on. And the thing is with season 4 is that the first half of it is actually okay. Like if you've gone back and rewatched season 4, I just remember when you're watching it, the first half of the season is okay. It's actually, I want to say it's actually decent, but it's the back half. The back half is, yikes is one word. Disastrous is another one. Nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel could be a good term. Crap. Crap is another word. We'll leave it there. At number 7, I've actually got one that a lot of people probably just forget about, and that's probably just why it's here. And that's season 6. Like season 6 to me is just mid. It's just, there's some okay stuff in there, but for the most part, this season is so forgettable, and that's why you really don't mention anyone. You don't really hear anyone mention it. Like, this is the Richard Dragon season. When Roy came back, it was cool. There was a really good episode where, I think it might have been just the episode that Roy came back. I can't remember specifically, but there's some okay stuff there with like Black Siren, like the Earth 2 Laurel Lance. I think there's some decent stuff with Quentin in there from memory. Like there's some decent stuff here, but just overall it's just mid and pretty forgettable. Like I don't know if anyone's like clamoring to rewatch season 6, or at least even like mention their top 3 moments from season 6, just because it is, pretty damn forgettable. At number 6, I have season 7, and the first half of this season is epic. Like if the back half of the season was just like a 7 out of 10 or something, this would probably be in the top 4, maybe top 3, or at least top 4. But season 7 has one of the best first halves. If you need a reminder, it's the prison arc. Goated. Like so damn good. But unfortunately the rest of it is just meh. Like I think that like that second or like the first half of the back half of the season when we come back, after Oliver gets out of prison and everything like that, that's okay. There's some decent episodes in there, like Talia al Ghul plays into it. And there's stuff with like the Star City Slayer, which is like the guy from prison, like Oliver's mate in prison. There's some cool stuff in there, or some decent stuff, but the back third, or like the final third of this season, they just sort of crap the bed. Like Emiko comes in, and there's some decent stuff there, and they could have done a much better job with her, and they sort of I think they waste the potential that they could have used the character there for, and yeah, so just it's not horrible, it's just meh, and you just go, it could have been much better considering the setup. So it's not a bad season. I'd definitely rewatch the season, but it loses itself at the end, so it just goes down a bit in the rankings compared to what it potentially could have been if it had a better back half, or more specifically, a better final third. At number 5, I have season 3, and this has a really, really, really good first half of the season with Ra's al Ghul. Like the mid-season finale is the climb, like the big fight on top of the snowy mountains where we think Oliver's dead and everything like that. I don't know if anyone remembers when that was happening. That was epic watching it live. And the first half was on like season 2 level. I think when we're all watching it live, we're like, this is going to be better. This could be the best season of Arrow so far. It's this first half is arguably better than the season 2's first half. And after the mid-season finale, it's okay as well. There's some decent stuff there, but it's probably similar to the Flash season 3, where it just sort of loses itself in that final third, and like Ra's al Ghul turns into like an Olicity shipper. It's really weird. There's some weird stuff that happens there. It just loses itself in the final third, but it's still a decent enough season. Like, gotta remember, like, people were bagging, and maybe season 3 gets a better review in like hindsight now, because I remember when it happened, everyone was like, "Oh, season 3 sucks." But it didn't. It was just like that final handful of like final 4 episodes where it loses itself a bit. But then season 4 came out and everyone was like, hey, season 3 is actually not that bad now compared to season 4. But I think season 3 is still pretty decent, especially with that first half of the season. Like, you can't ignore that. And number 4, I have the final season, season 8. Now, the first, I think it's 3 or 4. I want to say 4 episodes, just to be fair. I think it's the first 4 episodes are amazing. The first 3 are like 10 out of 10, but with the first 4, it's still like on average like a 9.5 out of 10 over all the episodes. So good. Like, some of those earlier episodes in season 8 are just stand out, like best episodes of Arrow, and it's really because it just had Oliver, Diggle, and Laurel for the most part just doing their thing, and just stood out, just having a really small core group going around doing their thing. I know people disagree with me, which is fine, because it's my list and it's also my thoughts. I hated the Future Kid stuff. I thought it was really unnecessary, and I really just thought, and I'm probably wrong with it, because it's probably not the case, but I always just felt like it was just setting up a spin-off, and that was obviously what they were trying to do with the Green Arrow and the Canaries thing, and I felt like it was a waste of time in those episodes in season 8. I think you could have done more of that cool stuff we're doing in the first 3 episodes, building up like the road to crisis that it was. Though I did really like the final episode before Crisis. So not the final episode like the finale or obviously the Green Arrow and the Canaries, or the actual Crisis episode itself. I think it's episode 7 is like a good finale to the show as a whole, and then they go into Crisis and do their own thing and everything like that. So yeah, season 8, though I've got some issues, like major issues with certain aspects of it, I still think it's a really good season. Just those first handful of episodes as well bring it up the list by a good amount. And now we're into the top 3, and my number 3, it's season 1, and the only thing I can really say about it is it's consistently damn good. I didn't really dislike anything about this season. It's a great start to the show. Everything, the flashbacks are really good. Everything like that. It's just a consistently damn good season. That's just a great entry point into not only Arrow as a show, but of course what goes on into the future in the Arrowverse as well. So you can't really knock down season 1 too much, but it's obviously not better than the 2 seasons that are above it. Now, when we get into these 2 seasons, these top 2, this is where it differs. Some people have a certain one at number 1 and another one at number 1. For me, I've always been like this, and I have a pretty damn good reason for it, which I'll explain. So at number 2, in second spot, is season 5. I mean, Prometheus, did you have to say any more? But like, Josh Segarra as Adrian Chase, Simon Morrison, Prometheus, whichever way you want to word it, GOAT villain. So damn good. Like, if he's not in this season, they do something else, then season 5 is probably down the list by a decent amount. Because I actually don't think the first half, like the first, like just 9 episodes, whichever way you want to put it, of season 5 are that great. If you don't remember, that was like the new Team Arrow. We had to deal with them. It's not that great. And at the time, people didn't think season 5 was very good. But as soon as Prometheus comes into it more consistently, and more specifically like evil Josh Segarra, that's when you get some great episodes. And the back half of season 5 is just amazing to watch, especially because it was also the final year of flashbacks. You had Dolph Lundgren was in this season as well. Like, people forget Dolph goddamn Lundgren was in this season, and the flashbacks and all the tie-up and everything there. So that just makes the back half of season 5, I think, the best back half of, I want to say, any show in the Arrowverse, if not just any comic book show, just because of those different aspects and everything like that. But because of the first half, it's not enough to get my first spot, and that goes to season 2, which I just think is perfect storytelling over the entire season, over both aspects of the show, which is the present day storyline, of course, and also the flashbacks. I think it nails it on all things. I think it's a 10 out of 10 season. Yeah, I have really no complaints about season 2. Outside of it setting like ridiculous expectations for everything else going forward. And the fact that season 5 came close and it just needed a better first half of the season. Probably shows how good season 5 is as well. But I mean, I can't do an Arrow list and not have season 2 at the top, just with the flashbacks, present day, Slade Wilson, Deathstroke, even just the introduction of Roy Harper, everything like that. I think it's just, and even like the Black Canary storyline, or the Canary storyline with Sarah Lance and everything there. It's just too top tier. So I think it's the easy number 1 for me. Though, man, just talking about season 5's back half makes me want to go watch season 5 again though. I've watched season 2 a lot, but I've only watched season 5 like 2 times. Now I want to go back and watch that. I might have to. I've talked myself into it. I will. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your rankings for the 8 seasons of Arrow. Which one do you know, or you can just leave your top 3 and maybe your least one. Though I think everyone's probably got season 4 as the worst season. Some people might have season 6 just because it's forgettable, but I think most people would have season 4, so it might be a bit redundant asking everyone to do that. But yeah, if you don't want to leave your top 8, you can just leave your top 3. And maybe your reason as to why you put them in certain spots. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.